Today I'm going to quote for you Hamlet Act 1, Scene 1. And I suppose I should do it with my eyes closed so that you know that I'm not cheating. So here it is. Hamlet Act 1, Scene 1, in all its entirety. Okay, so see, my eyes are closed. Okay. Alright, so. Hamlet, Act 1, Scene 1. Enter Francisco and Bernardo, two sentinels. Bernardo, who's there? Francisco, nay, answer me. Stand and unfold yourself. Bernardo, long live the king. Francisco, Bernardo? Bernardo, he. Francisco, you come most carefully upon your hour. Bernardo, 'tis now struck 12. Get thee to bed, Francisco. Francisco, for this relief much thanks. 'Tis bitter cold, and I am sick at heart. Bernardo, have you had quiet guard? Francisco, not a mouse stirring. Bernardo, well, good night. If you do meet Horatio and Marcellus, the rivals of my watch, bid them make haste. Enter Horatio and Marcellus. Francisco, I think I hear them. Stand ho, who is there? Horatio, friends to this ground. Marcellus, and liegemen to the Dane. Francisco, give you good night. Marcellus, oh, farewell, honest soldier. Who hath relieved you? Francisco, Bernardo hath my place. Give you good night. Exit. Marcellus, hola, Bernardo. Bernardo, say, what? Is Horatio there? Horatio, a piece of him. Bernardo, welcome, Horatio. Welcome, good Marcellus. Marcellus, what? Has this thing appeared again tonight? Bernardo, I have seen nothing. Marcellus, Horatio says 'tis but a fantasy, and will not let belief take hold of him touching this dreaded sight twice seen of us tonight. Twice seen of us. Hang on. Horatio says 'tis but a fantasy, and will not let belief take hold of him touching this dreaded sight twice seen of us. Therefore, I have entreated him along with us to watch the minutes of this night, that if again this apparition come, he may approve our eyes and speak to it. Horatio, tush, 'twill not appear. Bernardo, sit down a while, and let us once again assail your ears that are so fortified against our story, what we have 2 nights seen. Horatio, well, sit we down, and let us hear Bernardo speak of this. Bernardo, last night of all, when yon same star that's westward from the pole had made his course to illumine that part of heaven where now it burns, Marcellus and myself, the bell then bidding one, entered the ghost. Marcellus, peace, break thee off. Look where it comes again. Bernardo, in the same figure like the king that's dead. Marcellus, thou art a scholar, speak to it, Horatio. Bernardo, looks not like the king, mark it, Horatio. Horatio, most like it, harrows me with fear and wonder. Bernardo, it would be spoke to. Marcellus, speak to it, Horatio. Horatio, what art thou that usurpest this time of night together with that fair and warlike form in which the majesty of buried Denmark did sometimes march? By heaven, I charge thee, speak. Marcellus, it is offended. Bernardo, see, it stalks away. Horatio, stay, speak, I charge thee, speak. Exit the ghost. Marcellus, 'tis gone and will not answer. Bernardo, how now, Horatio? You tremble and look pale. Is not this something more than fantasy? What think you on it? Horatio, before my God, I might not disbelieve without the sensible and true avouch of mine own eyes. Bernardo, is it not like the... Oh, Marcellus, is it not like the king? Horatio, as thou art to the south. Such was the very armour he had on when he the ambitious Norway combated. So frowned he once when, in an angry parley, he smote the sled of Poleax on the ice. 'Tis strange. Marcellus, thus twice before, and jump at this that hour with martial stalk hath he gone by a watch. Horatio, in what particular thought to work I know not, but in the gross and scope of mine opinion, this bodes some strange eruption to our state. Marcellus, good now, sit down and tell me, he that knows, why the same strict and most observant watch so nightly tells us the subject of the land, and why such daily cast of brazen cannon and foreign mart for implements of war? Why such impress of shipwrights whose sore task does not divide the Sunday from the week? What might be toward that the sweaty haste doth make the night joint labour with the day? Who is it that can inform me? Horatio, that can I. At least the whisper goes so. Our last king, whose image even but now appeared to us, was, as you know, by Fortinbras of Norway, thereto pricked on by most emulate pride, dared to the combat in which our valiant Hamlet, for so this side of our known world esteemed him, did slay this Fortinbras, who by sealed compact, well ratified by law and heraldry, did forfeit with his life all these his lands, which he stood seized of to the conqueror, against the which a moiety competent was gauged by our king, which it returned to the inheritance of Fortinbras, had he been vanquished, as by the same covenant and carriage of the article designed. His vow to Hamlet. Now, sir, young Fortinbras, of unimproved metal hot and full, hath in the skirts of Norway here and there sharked up a list of lawless resolutes for food and diet to some enterprise that hath a stomach in it, which is no other, as it doth well appear unto our state, but to recover us recover of us by strong hand, and terms compulsatory those foresaid lands by his father lost. And this, I take it, is the main motive of our preparations, the source of this our watch, and the chief head of this post-haste and rummage in the land. Bernardo, I think it be no other, but e'en so well may it sort that this pretentious figure comes armoured through our watch, so like the king that was and is the question of these wars. Horatio, a mote it is that trouble the mind's eye. In the most high and palmy state of Rome, a little ere the mightiest Julius fell, the graves stood tenantless, and the sheeted dead did squeak and gibber in the Roman streets. As stars with trains of fire and dews of blood, disasters in the sun, and the moist star upon whose influence Neptune's empire stands, was sick almost to doomsday with eclipse. And even the light precursor of fair defence, as harbingers preceding still the fates and prologue to the omen coming on, have heaven and earth together demonstrated unto our climates and countrymen, enter the ghost. But soft, behold, look where it comes again. I'll cross it though it blast me. He spreads his arms. Stay, illusion, if thou hast any sound or use of voice, speak to me. If there be any good thing to be done that may to thee do ease or grace to me, speak to me. If thou art privy to thy country's fate, which happily foreknowing may avoid or speak. Or if thou hast abhorred it in thy life, extorted treasure in the womb of the earth, which they say whose spirits oft walk in death, speak of it. The cock crows. Stay and speak. Stop it, Marcellus, Marcellus. Why shall I strike it with my partisan? Horatio, do if it will not stand. Bernardo, 'tis here. Horatio, 'tis here. Marcellus, 'tis gone. We do it wrong, being so majestical to offer it the show of violence, for it is as the air invulnerable, and our vain blows malicious mockery. Bernardo was about to speak when the cock crew Horatio, and then it faded, like a guilty thing upon a fearful summons. I have heard the cock, that is the trumpet to the morn, doth with his lofty and shrill-sounding throat awake the god of day, and that is warning whether in sea or fire, in earth or air, the extravagant and erring spirit hies to his confine, and of the truth herein this present object made probation. Marcellus, it faded in the crying of the cock. Some say that ever against that season comes wherein our Saviour's birth is celebrated. This bird of dawning singeth all night long. And then they say, no spirit dare stir abroad. The nights are wholesome. Then no planet strike, no fairy takes, nor witch hath power to charm. So hallowed and so gracious is that time. Horatio, so have I heard, and do in part believe it. But look, the morn in russet mantle clad walks over the dew of yon Hastewood hill. Break we a watch up, and by my advice let us impart what we have seen tonight unto young Hamlet, for upon my life, this spirit, dumb to us, will speak to him. Do you consent we shall acquaint him with it as needful in our loves fitting our duty? Marcellus, let's do it, I pray, and I this morning know where we shall find him most conveniently. Exeunt. Well, thanks for watching. Gosh, that was 9 minutes. Anyway, no, that's cool. I will post more of these as I memorize it. I did memorize the entire first act at one point, but I'm actually coming back to this after a few years of, well, after a year of not doing it. So I've forgotten, well, not forgotten it, but I've buried it deep into my subconscious and can't retrieve it at the moment. So keep an eye on this vlog. Please subscribe, please like, please share if you know any Shakespeare enthusiasts, and by all means please go and watch some of my music journal because it's pretty rad. Anyway, see you later, bye.